Alright boys, this is your boy J Pizzy, and today we're going to be looking at tier mirror matches only. This is completely tier mirror matches. We're going to be analyzing each one of them and slowly breaking down each one of them. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible for each one, so we're trying to do it in under 2 minutes per mirror match. So right here, in this match, we go ahead and we draw into Medora, Orange, and we have Havness in hand, and we also have Foolish Burial and Planet. He normal summons Rhino, and off of the Rhino, he tries to go for the dump. The reason why I Orange light the Rhino is because I want to force him to use his Rhino special summon right now and discard one of his TEARLAMENTS monsters. So we're able to shuffle it back with Medora. So right here, he goes for the Rhino Heart special summon, which is something that I was planning for, because now that we have Medora in graveyard, if he's able to send a card from hand to the graveyard, we're able to just shuffle it back. So right here, he's going to activate a Yugioh. I'm not sure why he did that, but we're going to go ahead and shuffle the Rhino Heart just so we can stop the discard after he special summoned the Yugioh, because I knew that he was planning to go into Dweller. So I said, okay, cool. I've stopped his special summon of Rhino Heart. He has no way of going into another level 4 other than Sharon discard. So if he has Sharon in hand, then he 100% can go into Dweller. He sets 2 and he passes, which means to me that he either bricked completely and this card here is not Havness. If this card is Havness, my opponent has plays. His Sullick would be live and his Crime would be live. So I told myself, if he does have Havness, I want to force out that Havness as fast as possible, see the 3 cards that he mills, and we'll go from there. So we go ahead, we have Planet in hard, and we draw into Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, which is now a dead card. We don't need it in hand, but off the Planet, he just backs out, which means that the card that he had in hand was not Havness. So there you have it. Because we shuffled back that Rhino Heart is 100% the reason why we won. So on to the next duel. The good thing about these tier mirrors is that when people realize that they're losing, they just back out of them. So let's keep that in mind, and hopefully he does the same. So my opponent is going to go ahead and search his Planet. I told myself, okay, cool, he now has access to Rhino Heart. I have no way of stopping that. We only have Keldo and Imperm. So the target for Imperm would be either Rhino Heart or we target his Kid Kalos. I didn't want to risk it because I told myself if he had Sharon in hand, he probably would have already special summoned Sharon instead of going to search the Rhino Heart and then normal summon it. But let's see what happens. So we go ahead, we Imperm the Rhino Heart so he's not able to dump, forcing him to give up one of his cards in his hand again if he does have Sharon, but it looks like he didn't. I said, okay, cool. We don't have to deal with a Sharon. We draw into Keldo, so now we have Keldo, Medora, and we have Rhino. So I'm going to force out his Havness if he does have one. We activate Rhino, and guess what he has? He has the Havness. I was hoping he didn't, but he did. And we're now under Max C. So any card that I special summon now gives him card advantage, and he's able to mill with Havness. The mills that he got, Kelback, Max C, and Merly. That is such a crazy mill, because now he can fusion summon, which was the same fusion summon he tried to attempt with Rhino Heart. I, however, on my send with my Kaleido Heart, my Rhino Heart, I'm able to now send my Sharon. So I go into the fusion summon, he goes into his fusion summon, and I wait to see if he activates Kelback. He doesn't go for it. He's actually a good tier player, and he uses Shadow Beast to go into his Shadow Winder. Now Winder is going to be beefed up to 27,000 attack points because of Planet. So we go into Kid Kalos. Kid Kalos add me Sullick. I told myself there's no way that I can go in to try to beat him here. I'm just going to go ahead and set Sullick, set Crime. We already have Crime in hand, and go for the plays. The reason is because Crime gives me a discard. We can send Medora or Keldo to be able to shuffle cards in his graveyard, which gives me the ability to stop him from fusion summoning. And we can also use Sullick to send Kaleido Heart to be able to mill cards in my deck. And we go ahead, we attack into his Rhino Heart so he can't go into level 4 plays. Again, we're very scared of those level 4 plays. So my opponent draws into turn. He normal summons Merly, which gives him a mill 3. I told myself, here's my chance. I negate the Merly so that he's not able to mill 3, because we want to stop him from being able to mill cards. send my Kit Kalos to the graveyard. His Merly is now negated. We activate Kit Engrave, mill the cards in our deck, Havness, Planet, and Orange Light. So now I have no choice but to get a TEARLAMENTS monster on the field to be able to activate Crime. But I told myself, you know what? I think Draco Stapelier will be different, because now Draco Stapelier forces him into attacking my Draco Stapelier with Winda and just crashing, or I am able to negate his Winda on my turn. So I say, you know what? Let's just go for it. So we go ahead and we activate Beast to chain block Havness to be able to draw a card. Guess what we draw into? Joyous Spring Ash Blossom. And then we go into Draco Stapelier. So now he comes down with the Keldo, and we're able to now Ash the Keldo off of the draw of Shadow Beast. Again, guys, the deck sometimes is just luck. What do you draw and what do you mill? So here my opponent goes into Elf. Big mistake from him, because now we can special summon on my turn freely, and we can just Draco Stapelier negate that. My opponent does see that play coming. He backs out. He sees my full combo next turn, so he just leaves the duel. Here we go. On to the next duel. So we draw into Havness, Medora, Foolish Barrel Goods, Imperm, and Sulik, and we're going first. So we use Foolish Barrel Goods, send Salvation. Salvation is going to activate to be able to add me my Tortoise and my Planet. So we're going to go ahead and activate Planet, grab Rhino Heart from from deck. Now this is the plus that playing Salvation gives you, because once you Foolish Barrier Salvation, you now have an extra card in your hand to be able to fusion summon into your Kit Kalos, and that means that you don't have to use Rhino Heart as your fusion material, which allows you to go into your rank plays. So when my opponent has Havness, once we go off for the normal summon, he's going to special summon and mill. He sends Keldo, Mud Dragon of the King of the Swamp, and Crime. He has no cards in his banner zone, so he's not able to activate Crime. Good. Unless he has Heartbeat, he has no way of getting Crime back to his hand. That means Crime is now completely out of play for him. And Keldo, unless he shuffles it back. So I usually try to do this. I do Sharon first, Havness second, and then Merly third in terms of my cards that I want to activate. So we go ahead, we activate Sharon. He's going to activate Maxi. I'm going to try to play through the Maxi just a little bit. I don't want to go too hard. So we just go into Kaleido Heart to just give him one draw, and then we activate Kaleido Heart to spin back his Havness, and then we just set 2 and pass turn. There was no reason for me to do anything more than that. I give him 1 card advantage. I chose not to go into my Kit Kalos to go into full plays, because now we have 2 negates on board and a Kaleido Heart spin back and return 1 on the field, and we can also fusion summon on our opponent's turn. We have Havness in hand to be able to special summon, so I felt like that was enough interruptions just to pass turn. So we go ahead and we pass turn. I didn't want to give him more draws off the Maxis, so he starts the duel basically where he ended it. He used 2 of his cards in the process, so now he only has 5 cards in hand. He used 1 card in the process, which technically was Maxi and Havness. He used 2 cards in the process, Maxi and Havness, and he only got 1 draw off, and then the draw for turn, which left him with 5 cards. So here we go. He's going to activate Foolish Barrier Goods, sending his Merly, and then he's going to use King of the Swamp and Merly to go into Kit Kalos. Now, I think this was a complete mistake. He 100% should have gone into Ru Kalos. Reason being is, if he has more plays in his hand, his Ru Kalos actually gets him further than his Kit, because Ru Kalos can actually negate Kaleido Heart from being able to special summon back and bounce his cards on the field. So we activate Havness, hoping to hit something off the mills, and we go ahead and we negate Kit Kalos. And this is what he probably was fearing, right? So he was probably trying to force my negates. He saw that I have Imperm on field. Kit Kalos is going to get negated. Havness is going to special summon to the field. We're going to dump from the deck, and we hit Havness, so we're able to activate our Havness. He has Keldo in graveyard to be able to shuffle, so I try to force out the Keldo because I haven't used any of my shufflers yet, and I want him to start losing shuffling advantage. So we activate Havness even though we don't have to, and we activate Scream to go search. He's going to activate a Yugioh to bounce back my Kaleido Heart, and then he's going to DD Crow my Havness, which I was not expecting. But guess what? We have complete faith that we're good to go. My opponent is going to sell back my Kaleido Heart. We're going to go ahead and add Crime, and then off of the shuffle back of Kaleido Heart, we're able to pop his Kelback on field, and now he just has to pass turn because he's normal summoned. He didn't have Sharon in hand. He got his special summon off of Kelback off, but we were able to pop it. So now that it's my turn, we draw into Rhino Heart. We're just gonna flip Havness in attack position. Rhino Heart go dump. We could have special summoned Kaleido Heart back, go for game. So that's how we won that duel. On to the next one. So in this version, we're playing the other version of the deck. Hopefully you guys checked out the deck list video of me showing all the different decks. This one, we dual run the Salvation, and we just have triple tactics talent. So whenever they ash, we're able to go ahead and look at their hand. So he's playing a form of branded tier elements. So he's going to normal summon Rhino Heart. I'm going to go ahead and ash the Rhino Heart, so he's not able to dump from deck. And then that's going to get negated. He's going to set 2 pass. So I told myself, so it's either he has set Crime, Sulic, or he set Heartbeat. So we try to play around all of those. The first thing I want to do is force him to use his Havness in hand or Max C. So the Max C comes down off of the special summon of Sharon. Sharon, we're going to go ahead and dump Beast to the graveyard. The reason is because there's no target for Rhino Heart to special summon himself back. So I said I'll just get the draw off of Beast, and off of our mills we hit Sharon and we hit Rhino anyway. So we're able to go ahead and special summon Rhino without using up our normal summon. So we activate Sharon, we don't activate Rhino Heart. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. So Sharon, and the reason why I didn't do it is because he didn't hit any millers. So that's why I just left Rhino Heart in graveyard to be able to special summon Kaleido in hand, so to be able to go into Kaleido Heart if he spins Kaleido Heart back. Beast gets us a draw. Kaleido Heart activates. He's going to imperm Kaleido Heart, which is fine. It's completely fine. Kaleido Heart is going to get negated. We're going to be able to activate triple tactics talents. Look at his hand, see what he has, sends his Havness. I know he has Ash Blossom now, so I go to force out the Ash Blossom. He's not going to Ash. We activate Merly, and I'm just trying to force out the Ash. So we go into Kid Kalos here. Remember, we have Foolish Burial Goods in our hand to be able to dump and go search in our deck, right? So he doesn't know that, and that's really what I'm trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and activate Foolish Burial Goods as soon as he uses his negate. Send Salvation. Salvation is going to search us Planet, and then Planet is going to get us the exact tier elements card that we need, which is Merly. So Havness. So we go ahead, we boost up all of our fusion cards, and then we go for the attack. He's going to activate Super Poly. I didn't see this one coming, but it came down anyway. He's going to go into Kit. That was a shocker to me. In this instance, I 100% go into Kaleido Heart. I'm not sure why he didn't do it. I think it's because he couldn't. Or maybe he goes into Kalos there. But either way, we get to mill a whole bunch of cards. We mill 2 of our shufflers, and he wasn't expecting that much advantage. And we also get to add a tier elements card from deck to hand off of Sulic. So now we just pass turn to our opponent. I know that I have a shuffler in grave, which means that at any time I can shuffle my tier elements cards that's in my graveyard, like let's say my Kid Kalos, and then activate Kaleido Heart to activate Planet to pop my Kaleido Heart, to then bring him back, shuffle one of my opponent's cards, and also dump a card to the graveyard to go into my fusion summons. So I said, okay, let me just let him pass. He activates Branded Fusion, sends Merly, goes into Lubellion. His Lubellion and his Merly is going to proc, and he also sends Havness. So I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and activate Keldo, shuffle back his Fallen of Albaz, shuffle back his Merly to stop the fusion summon, and also shuffle back his Kid Kalos so he can't go into Kalos. The Keldo resolves. Now here, we have 1 less shuffler than he does. So I'm thinking in my head, I need to hold on to my shufflers as long as possible. So I just allow the Kid Kalos fusion to happen. he's gonna go ahead and activate Kit Kalos. We're gonna be able to activate Havness, and Havness is gonna dump. Off of the dump, we hit Sharon. Perfect. Now we get to fusion summon. He goes ahead and adds Merly to his hand. In that instance, he should have 100% gone for the dump of Merly to be able to fusion summon. I'm not too sure why he didn't do that, but either way, he didn't read Kaleido Heart properly, so now we're able to target his Kit Kalos and send it back to his deck, and we're able to pull off a fusion summon. So we activate Sharon, send back my Kit Kalos, go into Rue Kalos, so if he does have another fusion in him, we are able to negate it, and we get a pop with Planet, so we just pop his Lubellion. He's going to normal summon Merly, get the search off of Tragedy, but he has no more cards to do anything. He can't even attack. He already used up his normal summon, praying that his mills work, but his mill didn't work. So now the duel is basically in my hands. We go ahead and normal summon Rhinoheart. The Ash comes down. We have Triple Tactics talents in hand, so we can just look at his hand, send it back to the deck, and now we just go for game. Simple game. It's easy. 1, 2, 3. And that's how you beat TEARLAMENTS. On to the next duel. Okay, so in this duel here, we're up against another TEARLAMENTS mirror match. He's going to instant fusion. We drew into the Max C to be able to gain advantage off of his Kit Kalos. So he's going to activate Kit Kalos. We have Havness in hand to be able to special summon Havness. Off of our mills, we hit Rhinoheart, and we have enough material in hand to be able to dump and special summon Rhinoheart. Now this version of the deck that we're playing here is the Gravekeeper's version, so you see here Exchange of the Spirit going down. I usually switch between the two of them. It just depends on how I feel. If I want to floodgate my opponent with Gravekeeper's Trap, or if I want to avoid having to mill any of my opponent's card to give them any advantage at all. We go ahead and we send Sharon to be able to activate the special summon of Sharon. It's our opponent's turn, so I'm going to choose here to go into Kaleido Heart. The reason is because we have a Rhinoheart in hand and we have Rhinoheart on field. So we can go into Kaleido Heart and also go into Kit and go into Rue Kalos. So we go ahead, we dump Merly. Kaleido Heart is going to activate. We're going to activate Merly to be able to fusion summon. We're going to send back his Kit Kalos, and then we're going to fusion summon with Rhinoheart into Kit Kalos, and then our Kit Kalos is going to activate. He's going to activate Havness to go ahead and mill. Let's look at his mills. So he mills Reaper, Diviner, and another Reaper. Usually people run 2 Reapers. We're going to go ahead and send Havness. Havness is going to activate, and I'm going to be able to go into Rue Kalos. He's going to go ahead and normal summon Rhinoheart, send, and we're going to just negate with Rue Kalos, and now he has no way to play, and we just won the duel on turn 1. On to the next replay. Alright, here we go. So this version of the deck here is with Diviner and the Shadow stuff. So he's going to go ahead and be able to search Planet. We don't care about that. It's going to activate Planet here. Go ahead and search Rhinoheart. Usually that's the search. He activates Sharon. We can come down with the Max C to be able to gain advantage off of his special summons. So we allow the Kit. We draw into Imperm. He goes ahead and searches Sulik. He goes into Kit Kalos, and right here is where I decided to go ahead and activate Havness. So you want to chain Havness first and then change Impermanence. So you're able to special summon Havness, get some mills into the graveyard to get advantage, and also negate his Kit Kalos. So we go ahead right here and we mill Ariel. The reason why Ariel is so great is because we're able to now force his shuffling of Keldo. So we're going to go ahead and activate Ariel and go for the banish of all those cards. He didn't activate his shuffler. Reason is because I didn't activate any of my fusion summons in grave because it's still in my opponent's turn and my hand is too good to even try to give him that advantage. He's going to normal summon Merly, send his Yugioh, send his Killback, and send Medora, so now he has a shuffler on my turn. I'm very shocked that he didn't Killback and Yugioh because he didn't really gain any advantage, but I guess he does have the traps in the back row to be able to go ahead and go into Rue Kalos and Kaleido Heart if he wanted to. So we're going to go ahead and force the Medora. He's going to activate Gravekeeper's Trap, sending his Rhinoheart, and I guess he's going to go into Killback. I think what he wants to do here is try to mill Exchange of the Spirit. I'm going to activate Scream. I want to avoid milling any of my opponent's cards. So we don't activate a Yugioh when we mill it. We go ahead, we send Diviner to the graveyard using Sharon. So now we have Diviner Elf plays into Baron the floor, and we send Rhino Heart because we have Merly in hand. So we activate Sulik, we activate Scream. He doesn't have any shufflers in his grave, so he has to use his trap cards on the field to be able to beat me here. So Sulik is going to add me Havness, and we added Sulik to my hand. We're going to go into Dweller, and I'm not going to try to force anything more. We're just going to attack and then end phase. So what we're looking for here is for him to activate Sulik, because once he activates Sulik, we're able to now activate Dweller. So he's going to activate Kalos. I'm going to activate Havness. He's going to activate Crime to negate the Havness. I couldn't activate anything in response to that because Crime is a counter trap, which is the fastest speed card. He's going to be able to tag out, bring Merly, bring Kit, and mill 8. Right here, we activate Scream so we can get some mills off as well. And then we activate Sulik by so we can send our Havness. So we negate the Merly so he gets 3 less mills. We send Medora off the top, which is great. That's a great mill right there. And we're now able to go ahead and search my planet because Salvation is in graveyard. He mills Beast and Sharon, so he can also fusion summon right here. But his Merly gets negated, and Rhino Heart. So he's going to activate Beast, activate Rhino. I'm going to activate Phoenix, Havness, because I see that he has no shufflers in graves, so he has no way of stopping me. We're going to activate Salvation, search planet, search turtle, activate Havness, be able to send back, go into Kaleido Heart, and this is going to force out his Sulik. He's going to draw off of Beast, special summon Rhino Heart, send his other Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart is going to dump. We're going to activate Kaleido Heart, target his Sulik. Sulik is going to activate to target my Kaleido Heart, and that was the bait we were waiting for, just so we can activate Dweller to negate everything in his graveyard. He's going to activate Gravekeeper's Trap, send his Max C, but it changes nothing. We just shut off his graveyard completely, so even if he puts Exchange of the Spirits somehow in the graveyard now, we could still pull some plays off. So there's the Rhino Heart dumping. His graveyard is completely shut off. So now he goes into Time T for Doer and goes into battle. He attacks my Dweller. My Dweller gets popped even though it's losing attack points here. And then he's just going to activate Time T for Doer, bring back Redoer. I'm going to activate Medora to force shuffle his Medora and send back my Abyss Dweller for next turn. He's going to pop my Kaleido Heart, and that's the pop we needed to special summon Kaleido Heart back to the field. Kaleido Heart is now going to be able to dump, and Merly is now going to be able to special summon Kit Kalos. So now we can go into Ru Kalos. So we go ahead, we dump Sharon. Sharon is going to go, Sharon and Kit Kalos into Draco Stapelia. And then we're just going to negate his Time T for Doer. So on my turn, he's not able to grab a card from the top of my deck. And that's basically the game right there. There's no reason for him to play anymore, really. We're just going to go ahead and wait for the back out, and there it is.